Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, new information on a local teacher accused of sexual misconduct, what authorities say about the inappropriate behavior, and what the district says about the arrest they call shocking and disturbing.
The fourth Democratic debate in the run-up to the 2020 election and a shift in power from the last several. We'll break down what the candidates had to say and have analysis coming up.
A former elementary school principal accused of killing her husband is back in court today. We'll tell you what happens next as she prepares for trial. This is Wednesday, October 16th, 2019. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher, and we're halfway through what's been a beautiful work week.
It has been a beautiful work week, and we've got a little bit of a cool down on the way. Let's check in with Kevin for the first time this morning for a first look at your forecast. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. Yeah, one more day we'll be in the mid-80s, and then we'll see a cool down. Yesterday, 83 was the high. Still close to the normal for this time of year, and I want to show you the satellite and radar for our area. Mostly clear right now, but as we progress into the afternoon, I think some of these clouds that you see offshore, even though they're riding a little to the north, I think we will see some clouds into Kern County throughout the afternoon as, again, this next system, that is up to the north kind of draws us into California. So that's something we'll be watching for. 56 degrees on the temperature right now under a calm wind. As we take a look at the day, mid-50s to start, 77 at noon, and by 3 o'clock, 84 degrees. And right now we'll call for mostly cloudy skies by then. And then for Tehachapi, 39 degrees right now, a southeast wind at 6. As we take a look at the winds, not a problem today. We're just going to see a light breeze throughout the day. And then as we take a look at the temperatures, not bad, starting out in the 40s and then 70s throughout the afternoon. And again, some clouds on the increase as well. We'll talk much more about your forecast in a bit, but first, let's see how the morning commute's going. We're going to send that over to Alex.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Taking you outside for the first time this morning to the 99 near 7 Standard, and it looks clear. I mean, no cars to show you right now. There's one. But everything else around the county looks great to start off your Wednesday morning. CHP just reminding everyone that there's a lot of construction projects happening around the county, so be mindful if you're headed through one of those projects, and so make sure you slow down. Other than that, it's looking pretty good. We'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
New information this morning about a shooting in Delano. Police say the man has died. It happened just before 6 last night on Glenwood Street. It's unclear what led up to the shooting, but police say someone shot the man they've identified as 28-year-old Javier Joel Amaya of Bakersfield several times. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital where he died. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to call Delano PD at 721-3377.
New information on a McFarland teacher arrested after being accused of inappropriate sexual behavior with a student.
17's Vanessa Dillon live from McFarland High School to tell us the latest on this case. Vanessa?
Good morning, Maddie and Alex. McFarland police say they arrested McFarland High School teacher Elvia Gonzalez on Saturday night. According to police, they say she's facing several charges, including contact with a minor to commit certain offenses and sexual intercourse with a minor. Now, according to the McFarland Unified High School District, a student reported Gonzalez to the principal of McFarland High on Friday. The teacher allegedly sent the student inappropriate material over the phone. District Superintendent S. Aaron Resendez sent a letter to the community calling the arrest shocking and disturbing, adding he's related to Gonzalez. Due to this, Resendez says he's directed the district's legal counsel to oversee an investigation into the allegations. The statement reads in part, quote, "The well-being of the student victim in this unfortunate situation is concerning, and our sympathies go out to him and his family. The district has made available counseling and other support services to assist them during this very difficult time." Now, you may recall about a year ago, a similar case tied to McFarland High. A coach was charged with sexual misconduct against a minor last year. As of last check, he was placed on administrative leave and is no longer in contact with students. Gonzalez was also placed on administrative leave. Reporting here in McFarland, I'm Vanessa Dillon. I'll go ahead and send it back to you guys.
All right, Vanessa, thanks so much.
New this morning, Bakersfield police are working to track down a person investigators say broke into a house and performed inappropriate acts next to a teenager. It happened at a home on Bell Terrace, just off New Stein Road, around 1:30 Saturday morning. Police say the man broke into the house through an unlocked front door. A teenage girl inside the house woke up and found the man standing next to her bed performing lewd acts. He then took off on foot. He's last seen wearing an orange long-sleeve shirt and black shorts.
Thousands of people in Kern County were left in the dark during PG&E's public safety power shutoffs, but questions remain on how much those shutoffs cost and whether the utility should pay for the losses. The Board of Supervisors took up the issue at yesterday's meeting, and 17's Karen Waugh has details.
738,000 PG&E customers across 35 counties had power shut off last week. Even though most power was restored within 48 hours, many customers are not happy. 4,300 Kern County customers left in the dark during PG&E's public safety power shutoffs last week.
This is our first big power safety shutoff.
According to Kern County Fire Chief David Witt, it cost a few $1,000s to get the county's emergency operations center up during that time.
If losses are identified, we should pursue a claim for damages.
County Counsel Margot Rayson said if any residents, businesses, or the county itself had monetary losses due to the PSPS, they could sue the utility.
As of October 7th, PG&E had 14 claims for food loss, 2 claims for business interruption causing economic loss, and 6 property damage claims.
After last year's devastating wildfires, PG&E has $50 billion in estimated liabilities and is still under bankruptcy.
Is it your opinion that this PSPS program, do you think this is a response to the liability issue that the utility companies are faced with?
Yes.
They're one major wildfire away from complete insolvency.
In a letter to the CEO of PG&E, Governor Gavin Newsom said the utility should pay back its customers, saying in part, quote, Californians should not pay the price for decades of PG&E's greed and neglect. He recommends PG&E offer a credit or rebate, $100 for homes and $250 for small businesses.
Is this corpus the right size to govern in a 21st century? And it's the question that will be decided through this bankruptcy process.
In a news release Tuesday, PG&E said it still found more than 100 instances of damage during its inspections, including trees into lines and downed power lines. It says any of these instances could have ignited a fire had the power shutoffs not been initiated.
Them pushing that risk down to their consumers, which is absolutely an insane way to run a business.
The California Public Utilities Commission will hold an emergency meeting this Friday in San Francisco. They'll hear from PG&E about how it'll make sure the next PSPS goes more smoothly. Kern County staff will send a representative to be there. I'm Karen Waugh, 17 News.
A massive fire at a Northern California oil storage plant is finally contained. Fire officials made that announcement late last night. The fire broke out yesterday afternoon at the New Star Energy facility in Crockett. It's about 30 miles northeast of San Francisco. An explosion sent the top of one tank flying into the air. Plumes of thick black smoke were seen for miles, prompting health officials to issue an air quality warning, which has since been lifted.
2 tanks were completely destroyed in the process, in the fire. Another 2 tanks were impinged by fire, but they are still right now functional.
There's no word on what sparked the fire and whether it may be connected to a 4.5 magnitude earthquake Monday night centered about 16 miles away from the refinery.
Patrick Dehan of Gas Buddy tweeted saying because the New Star plant is a storage facility, not a refinery, it should not disrupt gasoline production. Those are the types of events that could typically cause gas prices to soar. He doesn't expect that to happen in this case. We're still keeping an eye on gas prices, however, for you, because right now AAA says the national average for regular gas is $2.66 a gallon. But in California, it's $4.17 a gallon. Here in Kern County, the average is right around $4.14. And according to GasBuddy.com, the lowest price on gas in the Bakersfield area is $3.72. You can find it at the on-the-go food store on River Boulevard in Northeast Bakersfield. To look up gas prices in your neighborhood, head to KGET.com. Just then click on the traffic section.
There's 384 days left until the presidential election, and the campaign is in full swing.
Still ahead, we have a recap of the 4th Democratic debate. Then coming up at 6:30, we'll have an in-depth analysis with our 17 News political analysts.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News with Maddie Jansen, Alex Fisher, and Kevin Charette with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
The tour continues for more than 100 Vietnam War veterans in our nation's capital.
17's Aton Wallace is traveling with those local veterans and has the look at this emotional day that they had yesterday.
Hello from Washington, D.C. Tuesday was a busy day for the 101 veterans on this honor flight. They went to many memorials, including the Vietnam War Memorial. We'll have more on that in a moment, but first, here is how the day started. With a police escort, first stop was Arlington National Cemetery. There, the group visited the tomb of the unknown soldiers. Next stop, the Women and Military Service Memorial. This stop was especially meaningful for the 4 women veterans on this honor flight.
We're very capable. And we want to serve our country also. It is the United States for women and men, not just men. They shouldn't have to do it by themselves.
And then it was time for the most anticipated visit of the day, the Vietnam War Memorial. The group laid a wreath and paid their respects. There was not a single dry eye because, as these vets tell me, more than 40 years after the Vietnam War, the memories from Vietnam are ingrained with them forever.
It's just hard. It's emotional. It's emotional seeing all this and just some things that I've been living with for a long time. You know, this kind of brings them closer.
Honored and humbled to even be here looking at the wall. Very emotional. I love this country. If you don't like it, leave.
These vets wanted to honor those who never came back, 58,000 men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice, including 17 young men from Taft.
Everything from here down is called the East Wall.
Janice Varner, who graduated from Taft High School during the Vietnam War era, led the effort to place portraits of these young men at the wall with the names of those who perished at war.
You know, we got to escort 101 veterans here today to the wall, and they got to see the wall. Those 17 veterans from my little small town never got to see the wall because they are part of the wall. So it's just our hope that when everybody goes by there, they see a name, they see a face, and they realize those were young men, and that's how I wanted to honor them.
And then there was this moment towards the end of the day. As the veterans were touring the Air Force Memorial, middle school students from Ohio were cheering on in gratitude.
It's just emotional because, they fought for our country and, they make us have, what we have today.
In the next hour, we'll bring you impromptu speeches some of the veterans gave in front of the group about just how impactful this trip has been for them. Now, Wednesday marks the final day of this honor flight trip. The veterans are expected to tour the Capitol and visit the Natural History Museum. They will then get on a plane back to Bakersfield, expected to arrive at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Honor flight representatives are encouraging as many people as possible to fill the Bill Thomas Terminal at Meadowsfield Airport to give these veterans a welcome home they deserve. In Washington, D.C., Aton Wallace, 17 News.
You know, it is such a whirlwind trip for these veterans, but I mean, just right there, you see how important it is for them just to go to that wall and see unfortunately, so many names that they recognize.
Yeah, but a lot of healing to come out of it.
Are you ready for a recession?
Coming up, a large amount of Americans aren't. We'll tell you what steps you can take to protect your finances.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. 40% of Americans say they're not ready for a recession. A new survey from Bankrate.com says out of 4 in 10 people are not prepared if a recession hits in the next 6 to 12 months. This includes roughly 41 million, or 16%, who say they are all not prepared. And despite recession fears, nearly 1/3 say they aren't doing anything to get ready for an economic downturn. Those who are prepared for the next recession say they're spending less money, saving more for emergencies, and paying down credit card debt. New tax laws are being drafted, but that's no reason to ignore your year-end tax planning. Money reporter Stacey Johnson has some tips.
That time of year is almost here again. But I'm not talking Christmas, I'm talking taxes. Now's the time to do some planning to make next April a lot less taxing. And the sooner you get started, the better off you're going to be. Sure, the tax laws have changed, but there are still some tricks around. Example, a tax credit for energy savings. Install a solar system and you can get a credit for 30% of the cost. To see other things that qualify, visit EnergyStar.gov. Next, use stock market or other investment losses to offset gains elsewhere or to reduce your taxable income. You can wait till December 31st for this, but you might as well start looking things over right now. And then there's your retirement plan. Now, you've got till next April to fund that IRA, but you've only got till year end to max out your 401k. You can stash away $19,000 if you're under 50 and up to $25,000 if you'll be 50 by December 31st. Up your contributions now to spread the pain over a couple of months. Then there's donations. Do you really want to wait till year end to hunt for stuff to donate for deductions? Start cleaning house now. And if you're going to contribute cash, spraying it out will ease the pain. So before you start that holiday shopping, shop for a few tax breaks. Want more info? No problem. Just go to MoneyTalksNews.com and do a search for taxes. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson.
Money Talks is brought to you by your local consumer credit counseling service. If you've got debt problems or just want some free budget counseling, call today.